we talked about like, you know, like having a small, like I used to like want a big old wedding and blah 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 blah, but now we've talked about having a smaller wedding. Like imagine how much money you actually save.
I am all for going to the courthouse, getting married there, and then having a big reception, which I'm cool with.
Oh,
but
that's a good topic.
we should have him here for it because his culture, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like with us, like it's two completely different
Yeah.
cultures.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, weren't they gonna
Let's,
do like
let's
the big
talk about your
dance and
side. I know a
stuff?
little bit about his side from the other
Gosh, my ankles won't stop
from
cracking.
the other
I apologize.
the other episode we filmed for FBP, and we'll go over it, you know, when he comes back here. But for you though, like, so that is interesting. What do you do? There's like the ceremony piece or like the legal portion of it, and then there's like obviously like a religious side of things that people sometimes implement in there. We talked about it on our last one. That's not probably something we're gonna have. Like, where is your religious side of it? Is there any?
I'm not.
Is there any?
I'm like laughing when you're. I'm like, why did you ask Jen that question?
I mean, I feel like it's a good question. I feel like
No,
you
it
both
is a good question.
you both know me. Amanda knows me 1,000 times better. Like I'm not really a religious person.
Were
at
you
all.
ever?
I was.
Okay.
Should we start with that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you should, just because I don't know.
Okay. So I was baptized Lutheran.
Okay.
So it's like a branch of Christianity.
Yep.
And up until I was about 13. 13 sounds like a good number.
Yeah.
We'll just go with it.
Hmm.
We would go to church every Sunday.
Oh wow.
Every Sunday, I'd wake up, I'd go
I
to
didn't know
Sunday
that.
school. We'd go to church. Church would have like a potluck afterwards, and we were part of this community.
Mhm.
Something happened. I don't know. Church is like catty. Like it's like high school. It's like cliquey, and I didn't know that until I turned 13.
Mhm.
So we like stopped going. And one of the main things was because I was just like becoming my own person and forming my own like ideologies, I guess. And I believe in a higher power, but not like your typical God.
Yeah.
So I was kind of branching out from that, and I was still going to like confirmation class, which I never finished because I told my pastor to F off.
Wow.
Because there was like drama with me and this other girl in my confirmation class,
Hmm.
and she was like trying to start shit with me, and then like my pastor would try to mediate it, and I was like, you both can go F yourselves. I'm out of here.
Audi 5000.
So
Ciao.
that happened with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then something happened like with the rest of my family, and like someone was being like nasty towards my grandma. How could you be nasty to my grandma?
oh my gosh.
Come
So like we
on.
stopped going to church, and then after that, like we never went back. And then I kind of was just like, meh, religion. So for me, I don't want to have like people have like the traditional Catholic weddings, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, no.
not me. I'm not gonna do that.
Nope.
And honestly, I feel like marriage is just a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like the marriage license, I mean, a wedding itself is not for who is getting married. The wedding is for who you're inviting.
Right.
Yeah. More and more that I talk about this, at first I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. I
But,
want
like-
the big wedding, blah, blah, blah.
I used to want a big wedding.
And then like
In
I
Disney.
wanna, and I'm like I want to have my bridesmaids and stuff. But the more I think about having bridesmaids, the more stressful it is. I'm like, I don't want to have to worry about my friends. Like I
And-
want to worry about myself.
And
Hmm.
growing up and like coming of age, more and more of your friends are getting married. Like I've already been to one wedding. We have a wedding coming up. We have a wedding that's been rescheduled twice because of COVID. And it's
Jeez.
just like, I don't
I
want to
feel
go through that.
Mhm.
I feel like after COVID, people might be more on the bandwagon of like these smaller weddings. Like people already are, but I feel like COVID, maybe like people will like do it just because of COVID, and then they'll be like, oh well, why don't we just do this small
Plus, I feel like
thing?
weddings, it's like a wedding in itself costs so much money, and I want to be able to use that money for
Your dogs.
No, your
my
dogs.
dogs. Yeah, but also like
Yeah.
think of like people spend like $60,000 on a wedding. That could be put into a house if you don't have it already. That could be used on an extravagant honeymoon. Like you could travel for a couple weeks with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another thing is people are want to have a good experience with your husband.
Right. And
on your honeymoon for actually you and him.
Right. Like weddings, I feel like are more for who you're inviting. So for me personally, I don't want to have a wedding. He always said like we'll have two, like we'll have my side and then we'll have your white wedding. I'm like I don't want a white wedding. I just want to go to the courthouse and get married and then have a party after.
I mean, I would still like to have something where like I can like walk down the aisle, you know, but I definitely want it to be. I don't think I want like a big thing. Well, my big thing is I want to be a mom. Like I want to have like babies.
That's your thing.
That's my thing. So you know, maybe I don't know like how your family would feel about like us having like a small wedding or whatever, but for me,
I do whatever I want.
For me, I'm just going to be like, well, we want to have babies and we want to save money for like these babies.
Yeah, like a college fund. You could put the money that you take in a wedding.
So, like my mom said.
He did.
Well, someone rear-ended him.
No, my mom said.
So he was just asking what I should do as an insurance professional. So,
my mom. What was I gonna say?
your mom said something
about
babies and saving money.
She said that she was gonna save money for me to buy me a wedding dress, and I said, why don't you just buy me a washer and dryer for when we move out? Like we want to move out like soon.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need a washer and dryer.
Which was
are you guys looking for places that have washer and dryer compatibility
in the unit, preferably in the unit.
Okay.
She gave my grandparents washer and dryer to my uncle.
But we are
So I said, buy me a washer and dryer.
To bring you up to speed, B, we have just been talking about like marriage and like the actual act of it. So we talked about it a little bit on FBP the other day, but
the bungalow.
Yeah, we're gonna bungalow. But Jen was saying that. Yeah, Jen was saying like we kind of went into the religious piece of it and like saying that Jen doesn't really, you know, you guys don't really have any of that on her side. Obviously, your side's a little different, but then ultimately, like, you know, Jen kind of mentioned that marriage is more so like the legal binding document and everything. So, you know, I don't know if you want to give your thoughts on that as well.
I think I touched on it on the other podcast I was on with you.
Yeah.
So
but
we'll link that in the description.
We did not hear that here.
So,
Amanda and I were not for.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go.
So,
I want to hear it.
like, I mean, as you've seen on YouTube, Mark, like
Oh my
brown weddings are like pretty big. Like, I wouldn't say sacred, but like, so like the family prides itself in weddings because like it's not just one family or the two families that are getting married that pitch in. Everybody, like, it's a big thing in our culture. You know, you have your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, your cousins. They all pitch in for the wedding. It's like some big shit that goes down in it, and it's like.
Oh yeah, are we allowed to swear on this?
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because I've been censoring myself.
It's
What the fuck?
it's a nice. I don't know. Like all the brown weddings I've been to, like that don't follow like the religious aspect, like up to the core of the religion. They've all been chill. They've all been fun. There's been a lot of dancing, a lot of music, a lot of food, fuck ton of food.
Cool.
And like Jen. Well, when we've had this conversation,
I heard that I will be hand-fed sweets. I
Yeah.
am looking forward to
Wow.
that.
yeah, we do that in the brown culture. But
I want to get married.
Pete, can you tell us what your culture is?
what do you mean?
Like what?
Oh, yeah.
What is your?
Because I said we before, like we.
What
got
is
into
your
it,
ethnicity?
I said that we are blending two cultures together.
But what
and
is
then
your
I said
culture?
Hawaii.
Well, I'm like
I'm Hawaii.
yeah, I'm Pakistani, so I'm from Pakistan. That means, yeah,
Okay.
it's very similar to like the Indian culture. Like, I mean, the religious aspects are different, but the weddings are pretty much the same. Like I mentioned before, a lot of dancing, a lot of food, a lot of people. Like brown weddings are big, and like no, they're huge. Like the amount of family members. So I've had that talk with Jen. Jen's like, oh, I mean, like I said, we can have two weddings. We can have one however you want. Like she said that she doesn't have a lot of family. Like white weddings are small, which I don't know if that's true.
Some white weddings are big, but my white wedding would be small because I don't talk to half of my family. So why would I invite them?
Right.
I'm sure they'd still want to come.
I don't even know them.
But yeah, like I have a huge family.
Right.
So like they're all gonna be there. They're all asking when the fuck I'm gonna get married because like I'm reaching that point where I'm gonna be next in line age wise, because they like believe in age a lot. Like, oh, once you're over a certain age, like what the fuck, why aren't you married yet?
Yeah.
Because they're like, a lot of them are old school. So like I have my grandparents calling me like once every month, like, oh, did you get married yet? And I was like, no, you're
Did
gonna,
you get married?
you're going to be there when I get married. So yeah, we'll see when that happens. Mark said he's gonna learn the Bhangra exclusively and
Yes.
and do a solo
No.
performance at my wedding.
Yes, Mark
We'll
loves
film
to
it.
dance.
That's good content. We'll do
But
that.
then I'm like, Mark's family's Italian. I want to have like a big Italian wedding, like Mike from the Jersey Shore.
No.
He's a big Italian, and all I was thinking, my big fat Greek wedding.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely a huge part of me that wants to have like a massive wedding, and I want to be like the center of attention and blah blah. But then it's like money and babies, mostly
money.
babies.
I'm like, let's go to the courthouse, say I do, throw a big shebang
Yeah, I
afterwards.
definitely want to have like we've had our first dance song picked out for like years. It's like we can't just not have that happen.
I think we have ours.
Do we?
Is it
I
Mia?
don't-
Is
I
it
have-
Mia by Drake?
I have
And-
two.
I think
Remix?
she has a couple
I
Beatles
have-
songs.
I have two
Oh,
songs in my
I
mind, and
hate
they
the
were
Beatles.
actually "fuck you." I have two songs in my head, and neither
What?
one was the Beatles.
Oh,
Shockingly
joke.
enough,
I don't know then.
You don't know what they
Is
are.
it getting better?
no.
Why not?
Mark knows what our song is.
Getting
What's
better
our
all the time.
Mark? What is our song?
Can't Help Fall in Love, the 21 Pilots version.
Is it Perfect by Ed Sheeran?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh
of.
my gosh, my ankles will not stop cracking. I gotta stop
Well,
moving.
Okay, so behind that was I was like driving to work or something, and then it was like
Yeah.
right when Perfect came out, and he texted me.
This is
and
the
he was
first time I ever heard on the radio. I was like, you should listen to this song. It reminds me of you.
like, and I
and
was like, okay.
Oh.
That's
And then she
That's
listened to it,
nice.
and,
And then
then
I cried.
she sent me she called me on FaceTime, and I'm like, "Are you crying?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, I don't want to pick up," and then I just picked up, and she was like bawling in tears.
Why would you do this to me?
nice.
Oh.
That or I just hold on, we're going home
Wow.
Yes.
because. you
'Cause
know,
Drake.
Oh my
reasons.
gosh.
'Cause Canada.
Yes, I'm
'Cause
all
Toronto.
for the
Well,
Drake.
when we went to the
That's
Drake
the Drake.
concert, I was like, I hope he plays this song. Like, that's the only song I care about hearing live right now. And then he's like, this one's for all the lovers in Pittsburgh. I'm like, that's us! And then it started playing. I was like, oh my god. I was crying.
yeah, we love
I
Drake.
texted Amanda. I was like, I'm crying.
Yeah,
I was like, where are you?
I was at the concert with my ex-boyfriend, and Jen was also there
and I was
with
like,
B.
simultaneously like crying and texting Amanda.
The
during
ex-boyfriend.
whole
It was the
thing.
ex-boyfriend we mentioned before.
The one where he popped up at his apartment at 3
With
in
the
the
naked
morning.
guy.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street.
You know what? You guys have told me that story 3 times. I always forget about the naked guy because it was such a traumatic
I
night for
almost
me.
ran him over.
Yeah, he was like laying down in a garbage bag. I don't know.
That's disgusting.
I
It
have
was
no idea.
Oh my god.
Terrifying.
It was
Jesus
weird.
Christ.
But so those are 2 songs
But yeah, like
that I want to incorporate.
my wedding is going to be a banger.
Banger.
My wedding,
The brown part of my
No.
wedding.
my singular. So not our.
Where do you do something like that at?
What do you mean?
Where do you have that sort of event at? At
Yeah.
a
At a
hotel?
Hall?
At a big
I don't know.
hall,
At
a
a banquet
giant,
hall? Yeah.
massive hall. What do you mean? At hotels, a lot of hotels actually have
Have pretty massive halls.
where you can go.
The
But I don't know
Sheraton
if
in
I don't know
Yeah,
where I
Station
would.
Square.
Right next to Buckheads.
That would be nice to have a hotel, and then people could just stay
Bucketheads.
there
I-
after.
Yeah, I just don't know where it would be. I don't know, Pittsburgh, Florida.
I only threw
I
out
don't
the
know.
Sheraton
Mm.
because that's where
My
prom
family's
was.
in Florida, but
Yeah.
they
My
would
dad-
travel anywhere for my wedding.
My dad might go to Florida.
Hmm.
He wants to retire there,
Interesting.
and he plans on retiring within the next 5 years. So
So
You
get
guys-
So
married.
within the next
We
5
gotta
years.
let's get married in Florida,
Go
and then
to
we can just-
Florida.
go to Disney.
You just end up staying in Florida forever.
Forever.
You just-
Boom! All of my dreams came true. Wow, magic.
I wonder how much a wedding at Disney would cost.
So
Probably
much
a
money.
lot.
My aunt and
So
uncle
let's
told me
not
that they
wonder
would
about
pitch
that.
in.
But that's what I really want.
They would help pay for the wedding if we got married in Disney.
I already had my wedding planned out for Disney, and then he was like, "No, we're not doing that." So I was like, fuck it, we're going to the courthouse now.
It's
Disney,
all or nothing.
Disney or the courthouse.
Yeah.